Hi everyone, and you're all welcome to this virtual training class for Informatica MDM. So the topic for today is Informatica MDM overview. So this is the first video in the series. So here I'll give a brief introduction of what Informatica MDM is, how the product looks like. So this first slide is about will take care from the functional point of view. So here we go, guys. Okay. So basically we'll be covering these 4 questions and I'll just explain on what all these topics mean. So first is why MDM, and the second is why Informatica MDM, and the third being how MDM is going to help me or help everyone, and the fourth point being what is MDM. Okay, we move to the next topic, that is why MDM. So guys, why MDM? Because there are n number of implementations in this whole world. Let's say data warehouse, or you can say an ETL implementation, or you can say a CRM or SAP or ERP. There are n number of different type of softwares, products and software implementations. So what does MDM means, and what is the significance of MDM in the current market? So the first reason why MDM is multiple products. When I say multiple products, it means an organization that has multiple products. Okay, so rarely you'll find a company that has single product or that is into a mono product strategy, because nowadays it is very important, especially from the competition point of view, that organizations invest their revenue or their money into multiple products. Okay, let's say an organization, Amazon.com, has $200 million, so and they have invested that into 50 products. So 2 years down the line, definitely the number of products are going to increase. That is either 70 or 80, whatever it is, but it is going to increase, because if they do not increase, then they are going to lose business. That's very simple as it is. So what does it mean for us? It means when you have multiple products in the organization, it means the data for all those customers will be stored in the multiple databases. It means we have the same customer information being stored in multiple databases. So let's say Mr. John Smith, okay, and let's consider a company called as Amazon.com, and that company has 200 different types of products, and Mr. John Smith is present in Mr. John Smith has taken 50 products, so his information will be there in 50 different databases. So the thing here is we need to integrate all these. We need to create a unique version of truth out of all these 50 versions, that is all these 50 different source systems, and the creation of the unique version is nothing but the master data, and the whole process is known as the master data management. So when I say multiple processes and they are going to increase, it means the number of MDM implementations and the craze for MDM is going to increase. So that is the first reason. The second reason being the government norms. What do I mean when I say government norms? See, it's very simple. Nowadays, especially if you see the government, there are regulations, and day by day they are making it mandatory for organizations to disclose information about customers, especially to disclose information that is 360-degree view of a customer, not just a particular product. So let's say John Smith is present in 50 different databases, then the organization has to disclose that information to government, that yes, he is the same John Smith and he is present in 50 different databases, and these are all his details. So those kind of things. So what it means for us is, so all the organizations have to implement MDM in future. They have to do it to meet the government standards. Okay, it means again that the number of MDM implementations are again going to rise. So that is the second point, why MDM. And the third point being, it helps CRM application in retaining and fetching new customers. So let's be frank, guys, if there is a business, if I'm owning a company, okay, let it be either popcorn company or any company, my first responsibility is as a business CEO is to retain current customers and to fetch new customers. The main important thing is retaining current customers. How do you retain current customers? You retain your current customers by making them good offers. And that's what all a CRM application does. It tries to retain the customer through creating a better relationship. But that can only work properly if it has proper master data. If a CRM application does not have access to a master data, then that whole project for CRM is definitely going to fail in future. There is no doubt about that. So the CRM application, it means that wherever CRM applications have been implemented in this whole world, they have to implement MDM someday in the future. It means again, MDM implementations are going to rise. Now, fourth point helps a data warehouse and reporting application. Again, this point is similar to the third point that we talked about, how it helps a data warehouse. There is no doubt. Definitely, it helps a data warehouse. One example will be like if there are duplicate customers. Let's say there are multiple instances and all that, then if a data warehouse gets its data from an MDM application, then MDM application will eliminate those duplicates, will provide the unique version, that is the master record, to the data warehouse, and it will help them to stop calculating incorrect reports and all that. Let's say a company called as Amazon.com, and let's say consider a company called as Amazon.com Private Limited. So actually we know that both these companies are actually, let's assume these are same companies, but because we do not have an MDM solution, this software system will never be able to identify that these two are same companies. So what will happen is the revenues will be calculated separately. It means we are losing business, and we do not want to do that. It means we have to implement MDM solution wherever data warehouses have been implemented and wherever you need reporting applications. You need to implement MDM. There's no way out of here. And the fourth point being stopping communication for dead individuals. So what does it mean? So see, let's say Mr. John Smith is dead, okay? So he died 6 months back and he has taken 50 products. So your database you do not know, your organization does not know that he is actually dead. So what do you keep on doing? You keep on sending him emails, advertisements and all that. Now that's really disgusting, because he is dead and you are disturbing his soul. So you don't want to do that. So how can we do that? How can we prevent this? We can easily prevent this through an MDM application. If you integrate the database of deceased, that is the dead individuals, if you have the database and you integrate it with your MDM, then you can easily identify if a person, that is the status of a person, if he is dead, he is alive, whatever. So you can easily stop sending emails to those kind of persons. See guys, this is an important point, even if it looks very simple, because doing this, sending emails to these kind of individuals, is actually against the law. Now we move to the next point. So I think you're pretty much clear with why MDM. So we'll move to the topic, that is why Informatica MDM. That's it. Yeah, now we are here now. So guys, if you Google, then you will find n number of products. When I say n, the number is more than 100. Okay, so there are more than 100 types of MDM softwares in the market, small, big, all that. So relatively, if you compare that with Informatica MDM, and Informatica MDM is kind of a new product, you can say, acquired from Cyprian Corporation in 2010 and currently maintained by Informatica Corporation. That's the MDM. So what does it mean? Is it just another corner in the block or another thing in the market, or is it something special? We'll explore. The first point being, see guys, I do not know if you know about Informatica, because see, Informatica provides solutions in data integration, that is Power Center, and data quality, that is Power Center developer tool, and MDM, that is relatively new. So if you see, Informatica is the only corporation in the market that provides solution for all these three together. There are companies like IBM, SAP and all those, Oracle, but there is not a single company which provides all these three together. So what it means for us, what it means for MDM customers, okay, it means that we will be able to exploit data integration, data quality together with MDM to create a very robust, very good and very high performance system, and there is no doubt about this. Okay, so, and for example, like you can use cleansing features from data quality, or you could use data integration, Informatica Power Center, to load data directly into MDM stage, you could do data profiling, data analysis. There are a number of good options that you have if we have all these three tools together. Now coming to the next point, scaling. When I say scaling, I mean horizontal scaling and vertical scaling in software. So Informatica is ready for both. What we have here is, I'll give you a very small example. Let's say one server is in California, another server is in Singapore, another one is in India, and another one is in Sri Lanka or somewhere. So together you could create, like together all these four servers could create one unique hub console. That is, in California you have the hub server, another way you have a database server, and all that. Okay, then you can create one solution. You can scale it like anything. You can keep on adding servers. You can keep on adding new installations without decreasing performance, unlike other MDM implementations or softwares. This is it for this point. Now we'll go to the next point, that is a robust matching engine. What do I mean when I say robust matching engine? See guys, matching engine is the most important piece of software, or you can say it's the heart of any MDM, not just Informatica MDM. So what do I mean when I say Informatica, that is a robust matching engine? Very simple example. Let's say what we talked about earlier, John Smith, he's present in 50 different databases because he has taken 50 products from some company. Okay, now a robust matching engine will be able to identify all 15 different instances of the John Smith and should be able to merge it. And if the matching engine is weak, what will happen is 30 John Smiths will be identified as one record and 20 John Smiths will be identified as another record, and finally 2 master records will be created in your MDM, which is wrong. So you will have this problem with other softwares, but not with Informatica MDM. The reason being, the matching engine has been enhanced to the very highest level to support all kinds of population. Like the US population, you have the different population files like US, Netherlands, Canada, Germany, all that, and you even have support for combined population files also. So that is another advantage, positive point here. Now the fifth point being Informatica Corporation's investment in Cyprian. What do we mean? I've already said Cyprian Corporation was acquired by Informatica Corporation in 2010. Now Informatica has invested millions and billions of dollars in Cyprian Corporation. The reason being, they want to expand into this MDM area because they know the future is MDM. So that is the reason why they have invested. So what it means for us? It means that this software is going to stick in the market for at least next 10 years blindly, and this software is going to grow. That is, they are going to enhance it, and that is really good news for MDM developers. Now that's all about why Informatica MDM. Now we move to the next topic. That is the fifth point, how MDM is going to help me. This is a very simple thing. I think the answer already lies in the previous 2 slides, but again I'll explain. See, what we talked about earlier in the previous slides, that is about multiple products, okay, and the government norms. Because of all these reasons, the number of MDM implementations are definitely going to rise. It means it will create huge job opportunities and huge growth career opportunities for people who know MDM, who know like anything about MDM, or especially Informatica MDM. So that is definitely going to help everyone who are looking for a good career opportunity. So this is it about this topic, and we'll move on to the next one now. Now this is the most important part here. What is MDM? What is MDM? There are 2 translations. One is Master Data Management, another one is Master Data Management. Okay, so the second point is true, that is management of master data is nothing but MDM, Master Data Management. So when I say management of master data, I mean, first of all, we have to understand what is master data, and to understand master data we have to understand what is data. Now everyone knows here what is data, but let me just brief it. See, data is everything in this whole world. Whatever you see is data. You get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you go to the bathroom, you go to a bank, you go to a company, you take your breakfast in a dining table, everything is data. But we are only interested about the data that is collected and that is stored and that will help an organization to grow. When I say helps an organization to grow, I mean data about customers, data about products, data about all those kind of address, contact, product, location, all this information that helps an organization to generate revenue, to help them to grow and to create business opportunities, different strategies, all those information. And when I say product data, I mean product data in RDBMS. I do not mean other hierarchical or network data. I do not mean those kinds of data. Okay, so that's all about data. So what basically it will contain? Product data will contain information about products, that is product ID, product name, product type, product attribute, product code, and all that. And when I say customer data, what it contains? Customer name, customer first name, customer middle name, customer date of birth, customer and customer address, customer contact, all this kind of information. Okay, so that's all about data. Now what is master data? I've already explained this. So we'll again take this example about John Smith. John Smith is present in 50 different databases. Okay, out of 200 databases, that is 200 different products sold by the company. Now you have John Smith. In one record he is John Smith, in another one he is John, in another one he is Mr. John Smitho. Okay, let's consider he has different names in different databases, and his date of birth could also be different or addresses could be different, but we know that he is the same customer. Okay, if I call Mr. John Smith and if I ask him, if I show him these records, then he'll say, yes, it's me, I am John Smith and I am present in all those 50 different databases. That's cool, but how will a software identify? You cannot identify that easily because SSN number and all that information are not mandatory for those databases. Let's say if you have SSN number for all those customers, then you can easily equate them, that is an equi-join, you can do that and you can say yes, he is Mr. John, but it's not that easy. The reason being, all those ID informations, see, nowadays data is collected over the internet and most of the options are internal. It means it is possible that John Smith is present in a database without any ID at all. So how will you identify that he is the same John Smith, and how will you merge those records? That is about the merge engine that I talked about. That's what the merge engine does. The matching engine does. It identifies all these customers as the same customer, that is a John Smith, and it creates a unique version of it. That is nothing but we call that unique version of the truth or the golden record, that is single record. If that is previously we had 50 records, in the master data we'll have only one record. If there are 200 John Smiths, in the master data you will have only one version, only one record. So what it will contain? It will contain again the name field and the address field and contact field, but there are 50 different names of John Smith. Okay, then which names should be collected? Now here comes the trust mechanism or the MDM magic. Okay, so MDM has the ability to identify the trustworthy record. That is, if you set it properly, set the trust properties properly, then it will easily identify that yes, in database A we should the name field from database A is the trustworthy field. That is database A name field is the most trustworthy field if it is collected from database A, and it is not trustworthy from database B, C and all that. It means all the unique and all the best version of the truth will be collected from the different databases, and finally one record will be created and it will be merged. So that's all about the master data, and again those information will be published to downstream applications. So guys, this is all about MDM. So we are completing this slide here now. We'll talk about technical details in the next slide. Thank you very much. Hi everyone, so this slide is about the architecture of Informatica MDM. Okay, so I'll cover Informatica MDM architecture from all points of view. That is how the data enters the MDM Hub, how the data exits, and what are all the things that happen. Okay, so let's move on. See, this is what you see. What is Informatica MDM here? See, I am pointing my mouse here. These are all the systems, that is the source systems that I talked about, like 200, 300 source systems. Then you will have 200 different dots here. Now these are all the output systems, that is the downstream applications, what you call, or the subscribers basically who need data from MDM. And basically this is what is MDM. Okay, sorry, I mean this is the MDM Hub, that is the square, this is the MDM Hub. So this information, this is the interface, that is the how data is transferred from the different source systems into MDM. As you can see, this is Enterprise Service Bus, ESB, EAI. Okay, or it could be an ETL, that is an extract, transformation and load. And the same thing goes for here, that could be either batch mode or real-time mode or near real-time mode. Informatica supports all this, so that is fine. I'll just enlarge, oh no, okay, yeah, this is good. Okay, see, this is the source systems, this is how data enters, this is data, how data exits. So now here the main thing is, this is the main thing. Okay, so speaking about the architecture, so data enters either through real-time mode, okay, or data enters through batch mode. When I say batch mode, data basically enters into the MDM through an ETL tool, that is an extract, transformation, load tool. Okay, so that is something that is outside of Informatica MDM Hub. So that is something that you have to do it outside. Informatica MDM product does not support that. So let's assume data, you have loaded data, so different source systems into your MDM Hub. Land, that is we call as the landing tables. So let's assume this is where everything starts from that is at the end. Okay, this is the end. I mean this is the beginning of the process. So here let's assume data for all the systems have been loaded into the landing tables. We call this as landing tables. So once data has been loaded here, now what you need to do, you need to cleanse the data. What do I mean when I say cleanse the data? So when I say cleanse the data, you need to clean it. Let's say any kind of standardization you want to do, any kind of substring, substitution, any kind of concatenations, any kind of to-char to functions, any kind of address validation functions, all this kind of thing that will be taken care here, and you could use anything, literally anything. Now once that is done, you need to enrich it if it is needed. Let's say the country code is US. If it is coming from source as US and you wanted to convert it to United States of America, if you wanted to do that, you can easily do that in the Informatica MDM Hub. So once that is done, then we move to the next step, that is the matching step. So what happens here, let's say 50 different, I have already explained this in the previous slide. What is matching? Like different instances of the same customer will be merged with each other and a master data will be created. So this is where it happens, and this is once you match it and the software says that yes, all this John Smith that is present in all the 50 different databases are actually the same. If it does that, then you need to match it. There are multiple options for merging, that is an auto merge or linked merge, that will cover it later. Now once you have merged it, it means that you have created the unique version. So you are ready here, that is the master data is ready now. Okay, but if you want to relate it, definitely you will need to relate customers. Let's say if it's intra-relation or inter-relation. When I say relation, it means one table, how a table is related to another table, or how information, hierarchy information is related. Let's say Mr. Amit from Mr. John and Mr. K, anyone. Mr. Amit is a customer and Mr. John is also a customer. Let's say Mr. John is the parent of Mr. Amit. So you need to create a table that describes the relation between these two things. You need to do that to enable your things in the hierarchy. To do that, this is the step where you need to do that. So let's assume you have done it. Now we move forward to the next step, that is the data steward. Now what is data steward? Data steward is basically a tool that, let me explain what is a data steward. Data steward is a person basically who is an expert about data, who knows everything about data. So basically he is the person who is responsible for this. I do not know why this keep on coming. Okay, Okay, okay. What is a data steward? Someone who is a data expert, who is expert on data. So if you show him the information about John Smith, then he'll say yes, all these John Smith are actually same. So he is confident about data, and he will really help you in creating the best version of the truth, that is the MDM. And we'll explore about data steward more in the future. So once this data steward, that is the manual merge and all this information is done, we move to the next step here. As you can see, so when I say data steward, actually Informatica data director is also involved here, because this is the main tool that will be used by the data steward, which we'll cover later. And now data is synchronized and federated. Now how do we notify it to the third-party customers? Here is how you do it. You do it either through a batch or real-time or near real-time. You could use an enterprise service bus or EAI to accomplish the real-time, or you could use an MOM or ETL to do it in the batch mode. So these are all the systems that I talked about, the business intelligence systems, the data warehouse systems, and the CRM systems that is not there in the slide. So these are all the systems who take data from MDM. Now we move to the next slide. That is, how is the architecture? See, I have explained this Informatica MDM architecture. Now this is again the same from a different point of view. See, it's a three-tiered architecture. Three-tiered architecture. This is the UI, user interface. This is the application server, and this is the database server. That is the database layer. So I'll give it just a brief introduction of how these things are designed together to make the Informatica MDM Hub. See, this is how it works, guys. See, hub store. What is basically a hub store? Hub store, I have already said, it's a database layer. It means hub store is nothing but it's a user or a schema in a database. When I say master database or a customer operational reference store, that is ORS, both are different users in a Oracle database. Master database contains information about all the system related things, that is how many users are there, information about all the users, information about privileges, information about authentication, authorization about users, and information about queues, SIF, and all that system related information that basically we are not interested about. But basically we are interested about this operational reference store. Now what this operational reference store contains. So whatever master data I spoke of in the previous slides, all those master data is going to be stored here in form of the base tables, and there will also be landing tables and staging tables which constitute the operational part of this MDM. So this is the most important thing, where all your important configurations will be stored here. So whatever you see, whatever you are going to see, this is the tool, this is the tool, this is how the tool looks like. So whatever operations you will be doing in this tool, actually all this information will be stored in the ORS. So in the future slides you will understand this, what is this ORS exactly. Now when I say customer ORS, there's a product ORS and there's a location ORS. The difference being customer is the customer master data, product is the product master data, and location is the location master data. You do not need to configure all of this. Only if you need a multi-domain, then only you need to configure. Otherwise, for most of the operations, customer ORS is sufficient. So this is all about the database layer. Let's move to the application server layer. What is an application server? Application server is something that gives services as application, or something like a web server also you could say. So all this hub server, all this activity manager, all this thing that you see, most of the Informatica things are implemented on the application server, and that application server is not from Informatica, it is external. That is, Informatica currently provides support for 3 application server. One is JBoss from Red Hat Corporation, second one is WebLogic from Oracle Corporation, and third one is WebSphere from IBM Corporation. You could use any of this. JBoss is the smallest and you can say it's the simpler one. So let's say you've installed JBoss. So these are all the services: web server and the cleanse match server, where the cleansing and matching will be handled, it will be an important server, important installation. All these are deployed as services in the website, in the application server. So that constitutes the application server. Guys, this is the main thing. This is, if this is down, it means your Informatica MDM Hub is basically down. And this is, and coming to the user interface layer, this is the user interface layer, the tool that I showed it to you, that is a part of this. There are other tools also for data stewards like Informatica Data Director, Configurator, all this kind of things. All this constitute the information. Okay, so this is about the user interface layer. And there is something you can see that is written as SIF. What is SIF? SIF is Services Integration Framework. Basically, these are all the protocols these are all the interfaces through which you will be through which an external application, let's say a CRM application wants to communicate with an MDM. Let's say they want to insert few records, they want to insert few master customer records, or they want to update records, or they want to do anything. They want to do anything from their application, not manually. Okay, through an automated real-time process. That is only possible through SIF. And really, this is a very important thing, because this is what makes Informatica MDM really unique and great. So we'll move again to the next slide that will cover this. See, this slide is somewhat detailed slide. Okay, this contains everything. You can say these are the source systems, this is the target, and these are from a very, you can say, technical point of view, how data flows. If you understand this, I would say you understand 30% of Informatica MDM Hub. So you are almost done with 30% of MDM. So this is it. See, these red bulbs that you see, they are nothing but the source systems. If there are 200 source systems, probably you will have 200 red dots. So these are the systems, and this is the beautiful hexagon that you see. That is nothing but the Informatica MDM Hub. And this thing that you see in the right hand side, that are the consumers, or you can say the subscribers of the data. So let's start now. So see, let's assume there are 200 source systems. Now all these 200 source system data from all these 200 source systems will be transferred to the landing tables using an ETL tool. How you do that, that is not part of Informatica MDM Hub, that is external to that. So you use an external tool like Informatica or Data Stage. Informatica means Informatica Power Center, or Data Stage, or Ab Initio, or Oracle ETL, SAP ETL. You could use any tool, or you could use SQL inserts to do that. That depends upon you basically. So let's assume you have done it. Then all the data will be landed here. So the architecture here is, if there are 200 different source systems, it means all the data from 200 different source systems will be landed to a single landing table, not 200 different landing tables. Okay, so let's assume data has been loaded into the landing tables. Now what we see here is a staging table. So what is the difference between a staging table and a landing table? What makes staging table different from landing? The thing is, both are nearly the same. What makes staging table different is data will be cleansed. Okay, you will cleanse the data in the staging table, and then you will load it, and there will be different row ID underscore object things that are previously not there, and there are a lot of other features that I'll cover now. See, a staging table, when you load data from a landing table to a staging table, it could be a direct one-to-one load, or it could involve data cleansing. I have already explained what is data cleansing. That is nothing but data standardization. That's an optional thing. If you want to do, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just simply load data directly, or you could cleanse data that is from an ETL tool also, that is external to Informatica Hub. You could also do that. There are multiple options here. So let's assume data has been loaded here. Now you see two squares. What are those two squares? You see something called as raw, reject. What is raw? Raw is something, let's say, raw is very simple. Data will be stored for a particular amount of time, either for some amount of loads or some amount of time, that is for 2 days, 3 days, or three different loads. So this is basically the source records for, if you have configured it for 3 loads, then data for 3 loads will be stored in this raw table. And reject table, if while loading the data from landing to the staging table, if there are duplicates, if there are null values, if there are data translation errors, or if there is a invalid primary key error, all this kind of error, for all these kind of errors, this information will be basically stored in the reject tables. That is the reject table. So we have covered this now. So this is it. This is the main thing. Now the staging table. See, I did not spoke of one thing. See, there will be multiple staging tables here. Let's say if there are 50 different source systems, it means there will be one landing table for all 50 different source systems, but there will be 50 different staging tables for all 50 different source systems. Okay, if there are 200 systems, it means there will be 200 different staging tables. Okay, so this is it. Now we move to the next point. This is the, see guys, this is the most important part. This is the most important part of the whole thing. Whatever I said, master data and all that, all this information about customer, addresses, contacts, product, all this information will be stored in the what we call as base objects in Informatica. So what are base objects? When I say base objects, basically it's a table in Informatica MDM Hub, but when you cannot create the thing directly in the Oracle database. What you have to do, you have to create the base object through Informatica Hub. So when you do that, when you create the object through Informatica Hub, it creates 10 additional tables, okay, that has information about cross-reference, that is xref, for match rules and all that, like underscore strp, underscore match, underscore rej, all these kinds of table will be created. But when I speak of the base object, this is the main base object. So all the information that you created here will be loaded to this base object. So let's say you have John Smith from 50 different sources. Now you will have here, initially you will have 50 John Smith records. All will have a status, what we say consolidation indicated status as 4. Guys, the final consolidation indication status of a customer should be 1. Okay, 4 means it is new, and 3 means it is merged for queuing, and 3 means it's merged for matching, and 2 means it is ready for merge. Okay, so here the status is 4. Now see, this is not master data. Now we need to match these customers and we need to merge the customers. That is 50 different John Smiths needs to be merged with each other. And there is something called as trust mechanism that makes sure that you take the correct records, that is the correct information. Let's say John Smith from source A is the correct name for John Smith. Okay, then you should take John Smith from source A. And if let's say date of birth is database number 50 contains correct information about the date of birth, then you need to take that information from database 50. Okay, and this whole mechanism will be handled by what we call as the trust metadata and the trust applied trust. And validation is also a very similar thing. If you feel that the data is invalid, you could reduce or you could increase the trust score. Anyway, let's not complicate things. So here let's assume 50 records were there. Okay, 50 John Smiths are here. Now what you do is you match it. You match the data based on the match rules and all that you have created. And then finally Informatica identifies that all these 50 customers are not the same customers. Then what you need to do is you need to merge it. So this is where you merge those customers. So there are two options. You could auto merge it, that is automatically it will be merged, or it could be manual merge. So what is manual merge? Manual merge is something where you are not confident that all these 50 customers are actually the same customer. So basically all this will be queued and all this information will basically go to a data steward, and he will do the analysis. He'll say yes, he is the John Smith from all these 50 customers, and then he will manually merge those all customers and will create one version of John Smith. So that is it. So now you see something is unmerged. You could, if you feel that like previously I have merged the wrong customers and now I want to unmerge it, you are welcome, you can always do that. So this is where you can do this. Okay, you could do this in the merge manager tool. So this is all about the main thing. So once you have merged it, it means you have created the final version of the truth. So now we are almost done with this architecture. The main point here is, so now we have So after this step, we have the master data. We have created the master data. Now what is next? Next is you need to communicate that information to the subscribers, because the data that we create is basically useless if it's not consumed by users, subscribers, downstream applications. So this is where it happens. The communication to external party happens basically through two different ways. One is through JMS queue, that is message queue, what we call us, and that is basically a real-time thing. Otherwise, you could do that. You can also do it in batch mode using ETLs. You could load all these base tables that I talked about into a different schema, and then you could create a view on the top of this. You could join this, all that depends upon the client requirement and all that. And once you do that, then you basically expose all those views and tables that you created to the external parties, and they will extract them through the ETL tool or any other mechanism that they have got. So I think we are almost done with this architecture. See, this is the base, a batch data flow, how the data flows into the target in a batch mode. The next slide talks about the real-time mode through XML web services, implemented through XML web services. So both are same things. That's why I'm skipping this slide now. So this is what we talked about, guys. Land, stage, load, tokenize, match, consolidate, and publish. See, this is basically from a different point of view. Again, this is the architecture, that is the process flow from a different point of view. I know I've already explained this, but if anyone has any doubts, so I'll explain it again from a different point of view. Land to stage, that is land will contain information about all, that is record about all the different sources. That now this arrow that you see here cleansing is done. You clean the data and then you load it source wise. Staging is source wise. Okay. If there are 50 sources, then there will be 50 staging tables. Now we have data here. From stage to load, it's a very simple one-to-one load. Once you run the job, data will be loaded here. Now when we load the data initially, actually they are duplicate records. Then they need to be merged, and a final master record needs to be created. That will be taken care here in tokenize and in matching process. Basically what tokenize does is it calculates token based on the match key that you have chosen. Okay, let's not get complicated. Okay, let's not complicate things. So tokenize and match, basically what they do is they identify all the different versions of a particular customer. Let's say John Smith is present in 50 different databases. Then all those 15 different databases, the software identifies that yes, these are all the same customers. So once that is done, the consolidation process is nothing but the merge process. So once that is done, then the software merges all these customers, and finally the publish either through JMS queue or through an ETL through an RDBMS or database interface. So this is it about this slide. Okay, installation is something that we will cover. I'll give a separate demonstration on installation in the next video. I'm skipping this for now. Yes, I'm skipping this for now. Okay. Yeah. So we're almost done with this architecture. So as explained in the first, initially, I will just give you a brief on how the tool looks like. Okay. So guys, this is the third part of this session where I'll be giving a short demonstration about this tool Informatica MDM, how it looks like, and all that, and just if time permits, we'll just play on with that tool. So we'll start. So this is how you launch the tool. It's as you can see, it's a JNLP file that you need to download it from the website, and once you do that and you store it, then you can launch it. When I say double click here, so now this is the tool. This is Informatica MDM 10. That is the 10 latest version. So now once you do that, see, I already have this tool open. So it will ask you for logging. Once you logged in, okay, it's better if I show this thing from the beginning. Okay, let's not waste time. Okay, good. Okay, this is how, see, I log in. So once I log in, it gives me option about different databases, like a master database, and if I have multiple ORS databases, then it provides me information about
multiple databases. See, this is the master database here, this is the ORS database. We are interested about the ORS database because there's nothing in the master database. Let's go here. See, just again I'm explaining, master database contains all the admin informations. Okay, so this is it guys. These are the multiple options here. As you can see, this is where you acquire the log, and then this is how this tool looks like, and this is how it works. Databases, this is where you register information about different ORSs. If you have 5 different ORSs, then all information about all these 5 ORSs will be stored here. This is the user information. If you have 1000 users, then 1000 users information will be stored here, and all the like default policies, global policy, and all those information will be stored here. Security providers, this is basically nothing but LDAP. So if you need external security authentication, all that, then you upload the jar file. Once you create that, and then you upload this jar file, and then this will automatically be enabled. So this is about providing access to the users. The users that we talked here, that access will provide it here. This is about message queues, that is the JMS queues, through which external parties data will be communicated to the external parties. This is about repository manager, where you export data to an XML file and then import it to another repository. And now we talk about enterprise manager, that contains information. Okay, let me just show it. You need to connect it to the master database, because all these options that I showed are actually for master database. See, this is the enterprise manager, which contains information about all the process servers installed, all the master database, all ORS database. If I have only one the ORS database, that's the reason why it's showing 1 row. If you have 5 ORS database, it would have shown 5. Now we move to this option. Is not needed workflow manager, it's only needed for state management. Okay, if state management is enabled. Now we again have to connect to ORS database. This is the schema. This is how it looks like. You will have base tables that I talked about. You will have landing tables where data will be loaded initially from different source systems, and you will have base tables. This is it. These are all the base tables: customer, account, party, relation, all this type of information. This is schema viewer. This is going to take some time because I have a big schema. So this will give you a very high level view. This is very important because this will give you a very high level view of how your data model looks like and all that. Okay, as explained, it is slow, so it is slow. It's not surprising. Finally, you see this is the data model here. See, this is the data model. These are the different tables. You can enlarge it even, but we do not have time to cover all that. So this is about the source system. This is all the source system that you have, and this is the trust that you need to configure, and you have queries, packages that are nothing but used in Oracle, and you have cleanse functions that I have already talked about, like string functions and all those functions. Mappings, basically you map the data from the land table to the staging table using a mapping. So this is how it looks like. I'll just show you once. So yeah, this is how it looks like. This is the staging table, this is the landing table, and this is the staging table, and these are all the transformations. Hierarchy is where all the hierarchical information and all that it needs to be configured here. Now you have something called a SAM, Security Access Manager, where information about all the different users, roles, groups, and all are that you need to configure. Data steward, data manager, hierarchy manager. Guys, I am covering all these 3 topics in a separate video. Please check that out. Now this is where you run. This is where you run the jobs individually. Okay, you run the jobs one by one, and this is where you run the job on a group. And this is the process server, where the cleanse and the matching will be set up, needs to be set up. And this is the audit manager. In case auditing has been enabled for you, then you will see this information, otherwise not. This is the SIF manager that I talked about, the services integration framework. Okay, you need to configure this information here. Once you do that, then only SIF will be enabled. This is about user objects. Okay, so if there are any external Java cleanse functions that you want to upload, you can do it here. Otherwise, if you want to customize your tool, you can do that. Custom button functions or user exits. Previously, in previous version, this is small information. In previous versions, user exits have been implemented through PL SQL packages and procedures, but now that support has been removed, and all user exits needs to be configured through Java only. You need to configure through Java, and then you need to upload this jar file. This is custom Java procedures. If you have created one, then you will upload it here. So guys, this is all about the short demonstration of this tool. I hope this helps you. Thank you very much for listening. Sorry for that, I really have a very bad cold. So thank you very much for listening, and check out my next videos. Thank you.